Hi there, and welcome to Keeping Up with Jones, the somewhat bi weekly show about what's going on with me, what's happening with the band, and basically anything else that we want it to be about. I'm Jones, you're you. Let's get started. So, this fall, I organized a 4 event, 4 month, like a music club event called Soft Sunday. And it was a great experience, but it was also a very, let's say, much a learning experience. It was the first time that I actually tried to pull off this kind of a longer series of events. And because it's not my, like, I don't know my demographic yet, but I think that because I'm a musician, there's bound to be people here that share my interest of making music, marketing music, creating events, creating whatever, all this momentum that we have to constantly try to create around our art. So I thought it would be useful and fun to kind of reflect on the things that I learned and share them with you. So here we go. The first thing that comes to mind is that it was a good idea to have a partner in this. There's just so much that you need to have prepared. There are so many facets of, I don't know if how many of you have organized an event, but there's many different areas that have to be thought of. There's booking the venue, negotiating just the slots for the artists, negotiating the terms of the event with the venue, maintaining that relationship, communicating with the venue with possible changes. All this work that someone has to do. Someone has to type in messages. Someone has to pick up a phone and call or go. Like, that's just one. That's one part of the task that someone has to do, and that takes a lot of capacity mentally and a lot of time. Then there's the whole marketing side of it. There's like making flyers. There's making copy for Facebook posts. There's making Instagram stories. There's um, planning out like a, what do you call it? Planning out a campaign, which is in itself another big operation that is going to take a lot of effort, a lot of concentration, and manpower. And then, in addition to those two big things that you have to do, there's actually managing the event itself, like when it happens. Where's the sound system gonna come? Who brings what instruments? What type of mixing is needed for the night based on the artists that are going to be performing? So there's a lot of things that you need to consider, and you have to do it multiple times. So it's not only going to be like a squeeze to get it done for each event, but it's also going to be a marathon for 4 months that you're going to have to be able to do it well each time. That all boils down to, I'm glad that I didn't try to do it myself. I'm not sure I would have tried to do it myself. I have my very good friend Evelina helping me with the venue and all that organizing. I organized the marketing side of it, and then our bass player Aki kind of organized the sound system, all the technical details, the actual evening of the event. And this was a great, it wasn't as much as a lesson as it was a confirmation of, don't try to do it by yourself. Because if you want to do it well, you have to be able to trust other people to contribute and, not try to do everything yourself, because you can't. Now, as for the actual organizing, I was able to, and kind of wise enough to delegate that. Where I kind of learned something and where I maybe wasn't that smart right away or this time was the marketing effort itself. I may be on the rare side of the musicians, or like rare breed of musicians where marketing actually is a passion for me. I love marketing. And that sometimes leads to me taking a little bit too much of responsibility of all that. And what I learned this time around was that I should have delegated more of that effort to other people, to the other artists that were performing with me. When you have a lot of artists, we had each night had us performing, like kind of warming it up, and then we had a main featured artist, headliner, and I did include them. I did make them participate somewhat, but I think I still kind of had I took a little bit too much of the effort and responsibility to myself, which led to me kind of getting tired a lot, because it's, for me at least, it's kind of like a when you have the event, 2 weeks before that the campaign starts, where you start communicating about the event, about the upcoming show, just to get people acknowledging it, and then the closer you get, you try to get people excited. This means daily stories on Instagram. This means daily posts on Facebook. Just a lot of content. And it seems easy, but when you have to do it for 2 weeks, and it's a responsibility, and you have to organize, whether, even if, like I did have the artists make posts and take some of the burden, I still organized it all. I planned it. I kind of guided them through the process. So it was a lot of work every day. And what I learned is, next time I'm going to try to come up with a way to plan it better, and also have it be less responsibility for myself. So learning to delegate the marketing, because even though I love it, it gets really tiresome. It gets really hard to do. Now, one of the things that I think that we pulled off really well, and that we really succeeded in, was, yes, have decorations, make an effort to have the place that you're in, the venue, look like your event. We had flyers, we had table decorations, we had a merch booth that was decorated with a theme in mind. We had candles on tables. Just to have, even if the place isn't yours, and we didn't have a huge budget, but we just printed out stuff that we could make the place look like it belonged to us for that night. So that when people come in, they feel like they are coming to an event and not only to a gig. And to tell you the truth, this was my main goal. This, for the whole event, I told Evelina that if we manage that every night when people come to the venue and experience the show, if they feel like they're in another place and kind of a part of an event and not just a gig, that's a success. And that paid off. And I would recommend that to everyone. And that's my final point also, is like, when you're organizing an event, especially if you're an independent musician, there's so little that you can actually guarantee to yourself. There's in the ways of success. You don't know if people are coming. You don't know how the other artists that you book are gonna be, how their set is gonna be, if they're gonna do their part. We were lucky, everyone was awesome, but you don't know that. So there's so little that you can actually control, but you can control how you set the situation up, how you greet the people, how you talk to them, whether you communicate during the event to the people about where they are. Do that, but also have these specific little goals that you can measure, and have them be something that you control. Like we had basically our goal was flyers. It wasn't money. We didn't charge people anything to come. It wasn't exposure even that much, because we had no idea that if people were gonna come and see the shows. Our goal was just to do our part well and have the event be an experience for people. And we pulled it off. And now I can say, okay, it was a success. It was a learning experience, but it was also a big success. As an all-encompassing overall theme that has to do with each point that I just made, is be mindful of your energy and manage your energy. Delegate, measure the right things, measure things that you can actually control, and be aware that if you're going to have a 4-month or a longer period of constant communication about a single thing, you are going to run out of energy. So reserve your efforts to the beginning where you're fresh, you're excited, you're full of ideas. I promise you, those ideas, that excitement, they will fade away as the thing goes on, but you still have to pull it off, and you still want to pull it off well by the end. So by the end, when people attend the final event, they're still going to be excited about it. They're still going to be asking, oh, hey, when's the next one going to be? And you'll have at least a small success and a platform that you can build the next thing on. So with that, I think you're up to date. Great job. If there's anything else, leave your comments, questions, or solicitations at any social media that you find this video in. Until next time, find your way, tell your story, and let's do it together. I'll talk to you later.